Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we are going to be doing a review on the Zastava Arms CZ999 in 9mm. So, first thing, safe check, nothing in the mag, nothing in the chamber, so clear to proceed. And that actually is a good segue here into the first part of what makes this gun kind of unique, different, as a lot of people will say, and as you can probably see yourself, this does look like a CZ P229, P226, the SIG P22 lines. But it does vary quite a bit in function, kind of form, and things like that. The looks are where it's kind of stealing the SIG's dash and go looks naturally. So first thing that, like I said, makes the gun different from a SIG is, as you see, there's no separate safety. With the decocker, it's only the decocker, but this is a decocker and slide release. So when the gun is cocked, you press down once for it to decock the gun. Now, if you want to lock the slide, or when the slide does lock back, you're going to push up on the slide release. And from here, you can see that it is actually, if I can get it right, it's actually actuating this little bit of metal here. It's actually catching the slide. It is very intuitive. It's pretty easy to use for the most part. You kind of get the hang of it. Now, the one thing is that when you do drop the slide, you actually have to push it a second time to decock it. So there is no drop the slide and then push harder to decock. It will sound like it just did, but obviously it didn't. So you have to release and then push back down to have it fully decocked. The grips on here are a plastic, but they're not like a cheap plastic. They are a very tough and rigid plastic. They're not rough in any kind of way. Not like something like the Taurus, like 1911 grips, and along those lines. Everything on this pistol, as far as the mag release and the slide release, and decocker, are ambidextrous. So you see, have it here, have it on here, and it is on the other side for you southpaws out there. One thing about the mag release is that when you press it, it doesn't actually go directly in straight. It actually has a bit of rotation. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it actually rotates a bit. Which isn't really a big thing. You just kind of feel it on your thumb when you're releasing the mag. The mags, they do drop free. They are pretty, they're solid build. I'm not going to say they're the prettiest things in the world. They are 15 plus one in the pipe, if that's how you roll. Plastic follower, and they just kind of work. They're made by Zastava. They do run about, give or take, $30 a magazine, probably a little bit higher than that. But you do get two in the box that it comes with the gun. With this as well, as you see up top, it does have a round indicator. So when a round is in the chamber, it actually pushes on this little tiny piece of metal, which I'm not sure if you can say, raises this little nib up just a bit, so it's actually a tactile feel. So there's no really visual, because when you're looking down on it, you really can't obviously tell the difference of depth. The fit and finish isn't terrible. It isn't fantastic right out the box by any means. You do have to kind of work with it a little bit, but that's what makes these such a great value, because they do run, or this one in particular is on sale at Classic Firearms for right around $400. Of course, not including your FFL transfer. Along with the fit and finish, it does have front serrations, which are nicely milled, no kind of burring, things like that. Same with rear serrations. It does also have a trigger serrations for people who do those really long grips, or for some people as they push up against the barricade. As you see here, it does say made in Serbia. It is a Serbian gun. Same as Zastava that makes the ZPAP M70, which is a very good gun. And that's honestly what I would compare this to. A lot of people like to think or say, the Glock is the AK of the handgun world, or a CZ is. I'd probably say this is just given how AKs generally are a bit rougher in finish, not all, but majority of them, and they have a little bit of a looser tolerances, so they can handle a bit more dirt, grime, wear, and such, just because it doesn't get stuck in there. It's kind of where this falls into play. It is built like a tank. I mean, when you feel it, there is no give, there is no wiggle. It's very solid, fits in the hand. It is kind of a wider grip, but it's very smooth. It is radiused, or scalloped, I guess you'd say, right here in the back, just for a nice, good grip. With this pistol, also, it does have serration on the trigger, so it does have a lot of like little touches, little features, and things like that. With the trigger, it does have a very long double action pull. It is very heavy, but it's not gritty. And then it hits a noticeable, or not, well, I wouldn't say noticeable, but it hits a point to where you know it's pretty much at its max. So when you hit that wall, then it breaks. The reset for single action is quite long, and then it does have a bit of give back to it. But when you are in that single action, and as you can see there, you kind of just feel the wall that hits right there when you're going on reset. The single action, very nice, very crisp. If you do release, though, of course, like any double action, it will have a that long trigger pull again. It does have steel sights, come from the factory as such. This particular model is the matte chrome finish with the polished barrel. Now, all of them do come with the polished barrel, but this has the matte chrome finish, which I think looks nice. It isn't for everybody's taste, but isn't bad by any stretch of the means. One thing about the general outside finish, it is very smooth now and has been smoothed out. But when I first got it, it had a few different, not imperfections, but nuanced things that I just don't particularly like on my firearms. One of which you can see it has a bit of machining marks here on the slide serrations. And then it also had some kind of grime, grit. You can kind of still see a little bit of it in there, just from when they had it machined in the factory. What I did was I took some of the Cape Cod metal polishing cloth and I just kind of ran it over the entire pistol inside and out throughout. And that really smoothed up the general action of the pistol itself, as well as kind of just improving the finish. It has more of a softer finish to where before it was a bit rough. So that's pretty much it as far as for the outside. Now going inside, like I said, you push up on that slide release decocker, and then you rotate this front bar here. Now, as you saw, the front bar has a tendency to kind of spring back to where when you try to release this, it'll get caught right there. So what I found the best way is to kind of put your thumb through here, hold this, kind of grip over top, and kind of release. From there, slides right off. Inside of the pistol, you see here it does have a bit of rough machine marks, again harkening back to that AK Zastava Serbian Eastern European. As long as it works, and as long as it's kind of built well, it should be okay. Here is this trigger bar right here. Get back to that in a second. Here's the interior, or inside. It does have a coiled or braided wire recoil spring. It does have a a steel guide rod. Again, harkening back to that AK part of it, it does have the spring, which basically looks like the inside of a AK trigger assembly. Barrel here, stainless steel, very nice. Good rifling, good polish free ramp. Now this did come just like this. I polished it up a bit more, but the barrel was pretty much rock solid right out the box. Did have a few little machining marks here, as you can see, but again, you don't really feel it at all. They are smooth, and again, they don't impede in function at all. Here's the inside of the slide. You can see, Again, more of the same old machine marks. One unique thing is it does have this long extractor, as opposed to the short ones where it's located right here, like on a Glock. Just a bit of an older design, but tried and true, and the Serbs seem to know what's best when it comes to their firearms. So you see here, we have that. There's a bit of machining marks in here along the rails. But overall, through and through, a very nice gun for $400. I mean, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, pun intended. And just overall, you really can't beat it, like in my humble opinion. So barrel goes back in. Your coil spring, again, is not captive, but it is under too much tension. Now, with reassembly, you're going to see here, we do line it up. Now, it is going to hit right here. Now, I have heard that this doesn't happen on all models, but on mine it does. Which case, instead of just being like a standard, push and pull, again, with them with tight tolerances, I just have to move it a bit to the side. As you can see, slides right over. And then, if it wants to cooperate with me, there you go. So, and then once you do rack it back, this automatically resets, so you don't have to hold this. So the only thing you really have to remember, at least with mine, could be with all of them, is you just have to push that little tension bar over and then pull it back. Because on mine, I was trying, but nothing was happening. So I said, oh man, what's going on here? But then after just doing some browsing on the forums, I noticed that, hey, I'm not the only one. As far as for shooting it does feel very soft in regards to shooting. Again, nothing in the mag. It is a very soft shooter, mainly due to the fact that it does have that steel slide and alloy frame, so it keeps the weight down, or it keeps the recoil down, especially with the nasty punch of a 9mm. Joking. But yeah, as far as guns go, this is quickly coming up as one of my favorites. Everyone I've ever talked to or brought up about it, that they even know about it, because it is kind of a niche firearm. They love it. And some people say, yeah, it's a poor man's SIG, and they're right. I mean, it is a poor man's SIG, but to where a SIG is made like a Swiss watch, this is more built like a 1930 Ford pickup truck. It just goes. It isn't the prettiest looking thing around town, but everything's mechanical and it just works. Yes, it could use a bit of a fit and finish polishing. And for those people who don't really know about guns or do a lot with guns or anything like that, not saying I do, but I know my way around town a bit. And with this, if you have a little bit of time and you want to kind of invest in it and just get to know your gun a bit more, for $400, I'd say you can't beat it. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it here. I hope everyone that's watching liked the video. If you did, please throw a like down there, give a comment if you like, and if you feel so inclined, subscribe. I'm gonna have quite a few more videos coming up here. Kind of just getting started with the whole YouTube thing, but always want to give my opinion on things, and just thought it would be a good time to do so. Well, thanks for watching my review. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll catch you next time.